Hey guys, so first an update because I just came back from the gym, and I remember I was talking to you about that athlete, that lady that the first time I made her squat the 60-pound sandbag. I made her squat, like she said, the 60-pound sandbag. She started crying because she was in so much pain. Well, today she squatted that sandbag completely pain-free. She went all the way down, full squat, all the way back up, felt nothing in her back. So today was a good day. That was so cool to see that smile on her face and everything. I think I saw maybe like a tear of joy somewhere in the corner. So that was really good. She actually had a great, I actually made her stiff leg deadlift first, and then she did that squat with a sandbag, and she did awesome. No pain, pain-free. That smile on her face, man. That's it. That's why I do it, right there. Don't need anything else but that. That was a beautiful smile. And so I got a bunch of stuff. And then today, what I'm going to have is I did a small interview with my lifter, Ali Ludwig. It's like 10-15 minutes where we talk a little bit about her and then the progress she made through the training, the injury, all that stuff. And so that's going to come after. I have a few updates first. So the t-shirt should be up by the time this video comes out. So that's the first batch, which is like those Strongfit t-shirts. And then we have more coming. So speaking of that, so now I have an entire team helping me. For the European tour, I actually have a manager. I'm a rock star now. I have a manager, producer. So if she likes better to be called a producer, that's Charlotte, right? It's going to help me through the European tour and the one next coming after that, which is going to be Australia. And then after that, it's going to be, we don't know which one, but there's going to be an Australian tour, so you guys know. And then it's going to be North America, which is going to be the East Coast, and also Canada, up to East and West and East Coast. And after that, we'll see. We have more coming, but for after Europe, the next two tours will be Australia and East Coast and Canada. Okay. We're also building up the website. So Chris from Barbell Shrug is helping me with this. So that's my entire team: Charlotte, Chris, my coach Richard, Matt in England. I mean, we have all my coaches in Torrance. We have a huge team coming, and we're building up that tour. And from there, it's going to be pretty cool because we're going to have the website. We're almost there. Build up with tier memberships and stuff like that, where I'll put all the content. Chris had some awesome ideas about this. And so there's a lot of stuff coming up. So in the next few weeks, the videos are going to be a little bit what I talked before. And I'm going to keep a lot of the and then we're going to build some more content for the website coming up. So there'll be more t-shirts because Charlotte is going to redo the website. She's doing all the art for the posters for Europe, all the t-shirts and everything. It's some really cool stuff happening, so I'm really happy actually. Like this week I figured out a lot of stuff in the gym. Actually figured out something so simple yesterday. I don't know, I can't figure out, I didn't think about it before, but it's so simple yet so effective. I just messed with my coach's mind in Torrance when I showed them that, because they were like, what? It was it's very powerful. I'm still like, I feel like, oh my God, what was that? It's I'll explain it in the seminars and everything, but it's a concept, but it's so simple yet so powerful on movement. It's cool. What can I say? It's I can't wait to talk about it more. I mean, and so bunch of updates. Oh, the Optimus line is coming. I get my 10 on Thursday. Okay, so they're coming this Thursday. I will have 10 of those. 3 already sold, so I have 7 left. If you want something, email me, julian@strongfit.com, because they're going to go out really fast. And so I'm going to use one at the gym. So you have only 6 left, sorry. And I'll take pictures and post it out there. But if you want one, I suggest you start soon, because they're going to go out the door very soon. And then I have to order 10 more, which takes 6 to 8 weeks. So jump on it now. And a bunch of updates coming up in the next weeks. A lot of cool stuff. For the seminars, I'm really pumped. I'm very pumped for the Coaches Week too. Because I have 10 coaches, I think, coming in the next few weeks to shadow me everywhere. So everything is moving really fast and really well. And today was pretty awesome. Like, there was lots of PR in the gym, and my athlete did awesome with the sandbag. It's just days like this, man. It's a good life. Okay, this is the interview with Ali. See you guys. There we go. Hey guys. Okay, so this is us with the best mic ever. This is Ali.
Hey guys.
I hope this will work. We'll see what happens. So this is Ali I was talking about last week on the blog, and this is the one who said she has the bigger butt than I do. So the video of this will come later. So, as I mentioned last time, Ali had an injury. Actually, I'm going to let her explain all this.
Okay, hey guys, my name's Ali Ludwig. I'm an Olympic weightlifter out of Waxman's Gym in Lawndale, California. So I got into lifting through CrossFit, and then I guess Sean had found a video of me squatting, said come join the team. So this was, April of 2014. So this was about 2 years ago.
So, how much did you lift back then on that video? Because you were doing CrossFit and you were back squatting how much already?
I was back squatting, I think the video was me back squatting like 335, 340, and then I would clean. I had like a PR clean of like 210. It was awful though. It was awful.
Yeah, it was awful. It was an awful 210. So, what did you do before CrossFit though? Because obviously, did you lift as a kid?
I did not touch weights until I turned 20. So, yeah, I started CrossFit. I played volleyball all throughout high school. And when I was younger, I did everything from swimming to a little bit of gymnastics. It was too big for that. But I stuck to volleyball and a little bit of track. And then after high school ended, I just didn't know what route I wanted to go, and I was kind of burnt out from volleyball. So one of my friends was doing CrossFit, lost a bunch of weight. I was like, oh, that's so cool. Let's be skinny, let's lose some weight.
Oh, so you went through that phase?
Oh, yeah. I went through that phase
when
for
I met
sure.
you were 185 already? Mm-hmm. Yeah, but you still went through that phase. You actually wanted to be skinny.
Oh, yeah. I got down to like 165, like 75 kilos.
Did you lose a bone? I bet your ass was smaller than mine back then. It's an ongoing process, okay? Yeah.
But yeah, so I decided to stick to weightlifting. It was what I was best at.
By the way, your background, everybody thinks you're Hawaiian, but you're actually...
No, I'm actually half Korean, half German.
Okay, so you guys
So not Hawaiian. Yeah. I look like, yeah.
And so Sean saw you squat 330, which isn't bad, and so he invited you to his gym
to
right
his
here.
Gym, yeah, for a tryout. And then I joined the team shortly after that, around May of 2014.
Oh, so 2 years ago.
So exactly 2 years ago this month, or next month.
Okay, that's awesome. And so you go there and everything, you pursue your trial. Obviously, you're part of the team. And so you didn't have really much of training in only lifting before that. I mean, some, but not like correct technique, I'm guessing.
No,
right?
not correct technique. Very little, just mostly squatting. My squat was fairly strong for...
So he got you. So first was technical work, right?
Yeah, which was
yeah.
good because I didn't have much technique work prior to that, so I kind of started from a fresh slate, I guess you could say.
That was cool. So what did you do? So technical work, mostly positioning. I'm guessing it took a while before the weight started to go up.
No, I actually progressed pretty quickly. I went from I got to a 200 snatch pretty quickly within like 4 months of being there, and then my clean went up dramatically.
You snatched 200 within 4 months.
Yeah.
What was your previous best on the snatch?
Oh God! Before stepping into Waxman's, I never maxed out.
And you got to 200.
When I first got there, I was struggling with 165. It was a struggle, and then I slowly got 180, 85, 90 took a while, but I finally got it. A few months after.
Life isn't fair for everybody. And so because we've been talking about you being kind of hurt for a while now. So when did the pain started? Because when you were doing CrossFit, didn't you have elbow pain already?
No.
What did you have?
When I was CrossFitting,
it was a knee.
I dislocated my knee twice, once in high school and once when I was playing football. But I didn't really have pain in CrossFit through CrossFit. It was just from outside activities. Yeah. But I started feeling pain in my first I started with the hip. At the end of 2014 December, I was maxing out on a squat, and it popped in the bottom of it. So I was having really bad hip pain, and that was going into my first national meet at Americans. So I wasn't squatting prior to that meet. And then I was fine, recovered after a couple months, and then going into Nationals 2015 in August, like a month out always. I heard, it's always a month out of big competition. So my shoulder, anything resting against my shoulder in the front rack position, anytime I'd try to jerk it, the pressure, it was just a sharp pain shooting all the way down my back. So any release of the bar, like the weight coming off of my chest, or even catching it in the clean was just, I couldn't do it.
So that was like a year ago then?
So that was a year ago. That was the first sign of any problem with my shoulder starting.
Yeah, and then when did the elbow show up? Because I remember you said you had elbow pain.
Okay, well, the elbow started before, but
Nothing crazy? Just,
nothing crazy.
Yeah.
It was just like out for a couple weeks. I overextended it in a snatch in one of my competitions. And then it was completely fine. I competed in May, snatched 210, clean and jerked a PR of 115 at the time, kilos. And it was fine. Elbow, no pain. And then the shoulder started a month prior to Nationals in August.
So the first real injury you had was that hip popping at the bottom of the squat.
Was the
right?
hip,
That's
yeah.
really the one that started on the
That
left,
was the
right?
yes,
Yeah.
the left hip popped on the bottom of, I don't know, like a 350 squat or something like that.
Yeah, which isn't even your max, right? Because you,
No.
you squat 400. So that was actually a fairly low percentage for you. Yeah.
Well, at the time it was me maxing out, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you got more than 350, I know that.
yeah.
But you front squat over 3 now? Yeah. And then now we fast forward, like you came to me about 10 weeks ago now?
Yeah.
Are we about where
Yeah,
we're at?
probably, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Little over 2 months.
Yeah.
End of February.
And so you came because you had actually the most of the pain you were describing. I mean, when I first see you come in, is there was atrophy of the upper body. You had the shoulder sagging completely. I mean, it looked like your arm was falling off, basically. You had pain in your neck, right? And you started to lose feeling in your
Oh
fingers.
yeah,
too.
tingling, just no. So and then my last my last national competition in Americans, I took silver across the board, but I was going to the competition with no grip, so I couldn't grip the bar.
Yeah.
My hands were tingly. This whole thing was numb. Everything was numb, and you get used to it.
Yes, that's one of the things we'll talk about. And mostly it's that thing of you're supposed to hurt when you lift heavy anyway. So just move forward, soldier on, and if you break, you break. Right?
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Yeah.
Kind of thing.
And so Ali came 10 weeks ago, and so we went through the testing. And actually, the thing that I saw was the most troublesome was our left oblique was completely out. Like it was completely shut off, and I think that's where the hip popping came from. She was collapsing completely, turning in like this. This would not fire. And so she would turn in on everything and then collapse this way. And I think, so there was a tremendous shift in her hip. And then after that, it started to, the left lat was not as strong as I wanted. And so that made her externally rotate and do all that good stuff, which eventually put the pressure on her trap that is slightly more developed on the left and the right, putting all the pressure into the neck. And so the first training session we did was I put you through the openers.
Which were very painful.
Very painful. Yeah, like the opener. The
Because
bicep
at that time I was
opener,
having really bad elbow pain in both arms.
So we started with a bicep opener, I remember. That was hard. Your range of motion was very limited on this and very painful on the elbows. Yeah. And she wanted to externally rotate on everything.
Yeah, and everything.
The nightmare was a tricep one.
Yeah.
Tricep opener.
Oh
we
yeah,
could
that
not
was
do.
awful.
Yeah, there was absolutely no lat, especially on the left. So anything on the tricep opener, she wanted to default out completely. And so that was really the first 3 weeks. We did the openers a lot. And then, so through your training with me, all we've done is the openers, all 4 of them, and then the work outside.
Exactly.
The work outside has been pulling the rope. Obviously, lack of left lat. So that's a lot of what we did was going outside, pulling the rope. Overhead carry,
Yes.
which at first was 150, and
yeah,
it was
it was
ugly.
awful.
Yeah.
That was hard. It was really hard.
Yeah, it was really hard and slanted. And so Ali has been doing just that, the openers and the outside work. So rope pull, overhead carry, we did a lot of drags and a lot of harness. And that was it for at least 3 weeks, basically.
Yeah, and
That's all we did.
apart from that, I took time off from lifting completely for about a month and a half. So about 6 weeks.
Yeah,
so I was just doing this.
Yeah, 3 times a week, right? We started with twice.
Yeah.
And even like by the 4th week, you bonked, I remember. Like the 4th week, you started to have
really tired.
got really, really tired because she was doing well. Came back on the 4th week and everything started shifting again. So we gave her a bit of a break just for 1 week. And then after that, when you started to really, all the lift started to go up. I remember, so the first 4 weeks were just the openers and all 4 exercises outside, 2-3 times a week. Then you got a lot better. The shoulder looked better. The lat started to activate. So we introduced the Sandbag Carries, the Sandbag squats, which was a whole different ball game.
Oh, whole different
Because
ballgame.
Ali wants to arch a lot when she squats. We're fixing it. And the sandbag squats don't let you do that. So it was a little bit harder. And then there was a lot of sandbag carries. You didn't like it too much at first.
Yeah.
Then we moved to your carries, and that's where like putting weight on your back was a problem. So we started with, was that 250, I think?
Around there.
Maybe, and then your
250.
left elbow was jacked and stuff like that. And so now we get to the stage where you carried 200 kilos last week on your back, no problem, both elbows into place. The right lat is firing, and so everything has been moving really well. You've gained a lot of muscle on your upper body just doing that.
Oh yeah, it's so funny. People are like, "What are you doing? You know, you look so jacked." Like, and I'm like, I honestly have not done any bicep, anything. It's just the openers and pulling the rope. Really.
Yeah, that's been it. Yeah, but you've gained so much muscle on your upper body. That's been really cool. So the left oblique is not quite fixed, but the good news is last week, because you carried a 250-pound overhead, you'll carry, so a 100-pound increase in 9 weeks. And so that day I told you could go test your snatch, and you got 80 kilos.
85.
80, oh, excuse me.
Yeah, so I hit 85 for 2 singles, no pain, easy. One of his coaches, Matthew Barlow, was saying that when he stopped training because he had other injuries, he just did sandbags for 5 months, just all of this kind of stuff, training, and he didn't lose any strength. So that was my biggest concern, was losing strength. But 85, easy, one up easy.
Yeah, for 2 singles. You stopped there. Did you feel any pain?
No pain.
So you stopped there because that was basically 90%.
Yeah.
So without training, you still kept 90% of your snatch. That's really good. And so you guys stopped there just in case, because I saw Sean that morning and I told him you could test until you felt something. So that was cool. 85 is, well, if we start at 85, I'm happy.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's really good. Did you clean lately?
I cleaned. I haven't maxed out my clean, but yeah. I mean, I'm cleaning. Cleaning's fine. Everything is fine. I jerk. Jerk is fine. Because before it was just in the catch, it was just pinching here, and then and just elbow pain. Everything was numb. So now there's no pain. Everything, cool. And I'm catching it in my lats. So that's the biggest difference. Is now that I have this right here. I mean, it's still working on it, but I'm catching it here rather than everything landing on my elbows and my shoulder, I guess.
And then actually I talked about that external rotation yesterday on the Bicep Opener intro, and then that's something we're going to work to also, because this is something you were doing, is that extra rotation there that put tremendous pressure, I think, on your neck, especially on the left. I really think that's where it came from. So, but that came through the Bicep Opener we've been doing for 9 weeks. So, so that was to take all of you guys through the process for Ali and everything. So what would you do differently now? Because you started only 2 years ago, so you're a novice on Olympic weightlifting. I know Sean wants you at the Olympics, because you sure have the build for it. So what would you do differently? Because you're the captain of your team at Sean and everything. How would you train differently? Because right now, I am not, I mean, I don't do Olympic weightlifting myself, and nobody in that world knows me. So that's why I want you up there explaining what we did, because I don't think they'll necessarily take my word for it. But how would you train differently going into the early lifting? What you're going to do from now on, basically?
Well, I mean, so now since I'm firing different things differently, it's naturally just going to be different going into training. I'm using different muscles, so now my focus is to take it slow. I mean, everybody says, you know, keep it light, work on technique, but my biggest thing is just to, take it slow and then really focus on the right movement. So keeping the core tight, activating the lats, because prior to seeing Julian, Sean would always say, use your lats off the floor, keep your lats off the floor tight, you know, keep your lats tight. But I could never do that. So now I'm really trying to focus on doing the correct movements.
Because now you can feel them.
Now I can feel them, yeah.
That's the thing, is it gives you the cues, but if you can't find your lats,
you
can't do it.
Exactly. So I always, you know, thought I was like, I'm trying, I'm doing it, you know, but I wasn't doing it.
Yeah, I mean, you can tell now, right? Yeah, so the idea for Ali is like, first of all, the left isn't quite fixed, so we still have some work to do. But even when we're done with that, there'll be at least one session, if not 2 a week, where she'll do the openers 2-3 times a week forever, as long as she wants to lift. And there'll be one of the sessions outside at least once a week, so we can keep certain things firing correctly. Because again, without the muscles firing correctly, you cannot obey your coach. So he's trying to tell you to do something and you can't do it because you don't know where the muscles are. So all this is also for that, is to give you a connection to your body so you can actually follow your coach's cues.
And another thing I want to mention is I need to do this at least once, rope pulls or something, just because last week I think I skipped a day because of work, or you were in San Diego or something.
I was in San Diego, yeah.
And training the next day, it was, I mean, I could still fire them, but it wasn't a natural, I had to think about it, which it takes time. But Another thing is the stuff we do outside is very low. It's low impact. You know what I mean? Like you're tired, you hurt after, but the next day, like Julian says, you can train, you're fine. So a lot of weightlifters think. I mean, it's true. The training is very strenuous, and you're exhausted after. But doing stuff outside, you'll be fine the next day.
Yeah, it's low skill, low eccentric, so it doesn't beat you up. Because I think one of the biggest fear out there is if you do that stuff, it's going to take away from your early lifting because you'll be so beat up. But the openers are not bodybuilding. This isn't what this is. This is range of motion under tension, so we actually lose fairly light weights. You're still on the tens on most of the openers, so it's hardly, it works, but it's hardly bodybuilding in that sense. The volume is not that great. And the stuff outside, as hard as it is, does not beat you up. At least impedes your progress in Olympic weightlifting. Because again, I think that's where the coaches are going to go. Like, I'm taking sessions away from you.
Yeah.
Well, no, not at all.
But that's exactly how they could see it. But it's not like that at all. And you wake up, lifting, and the next day you wake up, something hurts, joints hurt. But here you wake up, you're like, oh shit, like nothing hurts.
Tired, but also because Olympic weightlifters are not in shape.
Yeah.
So it takes a while. But once you're in shape, you can do this twice a week. You wouldn't be tired anymore. At least once, no problem. But the fact is, only lifters are not in shape. So the first 2-3 weeks, yes, it's going to be very taxing. But after a while, things fire. I don't see an issue. So I'll do my best to bring that to Oli lifting as much as I can. We have a few barriers, but Ali will be my ambassador to Oli lifting, so we can actually try to make the new ones coming up better. Cool?
Cool.
Thank you. And then talk to you guys soon.